You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 23rd, 2023 meeting of the Long Beach Public Works Committee. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
The Long Beach Public Works Committee is being called to order. Has everyone had time to look at the minutes from the October? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve them?
I motion.
Was that Rick or Scott? Oh, Scott. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I have a second?
I second. Bernie Summers.
Okay. Now, because we have two members that are Zoom, we have to do roll call. So Scott?
Here.
Favor?
Yep.
All vote in favor. Rick?
Present.
Okay. Laurel? Yes. Ernie?
Present.
Don?
Here.
Yes.
And John?
Yes.
And I say yes, so unanimous. Okay. Next we'll go on to Greg Parrish, Water Department Field Report.
Good morning, everyone. Last couple of months, been somewhat busy. We had several emergency shut-offs due to frozen pipes last month when we had the cold snap. Homeowners would just take 5 minutes when they leave, if they're not going to be coming back around for weeks on end, if they just shut their main water valve off. If their pipes do freeze, it's not just going to continually run like the house.
Right.
And I think we do have, on our website, I think we do have cold weather tips on there, I believe.
How many people had issues?
I had 6 or 7 maybe that we're aware of. We're gonna
Okay.
read meters today, so.
Okay. All right.
Also, we've been, with the mild weather we've been having, we've been able to do some locating for our GIS mapping on water mains and valves. Tom and Brent have been assisting us doing that as well. And also, we are getting our year reports together for our 2022 water audit. We should have them completed by then next month, and then get it scheduled for validation so we can send it down to IFA. I've got 2 quotes for the retaining wall for the water tower. One from Woodruff's. This bid was for the big rock that they used down at 21 or 23. I don't know if you all have seen it, but it's huge.
Okay.
But it's not going to be practical for us to use that up there. It's that bid came in at like a $70,877. So I got the second bid from Jacob Valatovich. He's going to get some price for putting in a standard retaining wall. That does include 3 drains to drain anything draining from behind it. His bid came in at $17,584. If we sign this bid and get it back to him fairly quick, he can get his last year's price upon Uniblock. He said we wait, till April and May, we're going to be paying that price won't be given at that point.
Do we have that in the budget?
We did allocate that in our water tech budget for this year.
And so that, when you say retaining wall, that'll be the one on Foxdale?
Right next to a little bunker there
Okay.
to hold that back a little bit and straighten things out. We can make a parking area in front,
Oh, okay.
renovate the building.
And just to add, when Greg and I first started talking about this, one of the things that Greg had recommended is that in his 2023 budget, having enough in the water tower budget, more or less, that line item, that would be able to cover this expenditure. So my recommendation would be that this committee vote on the superintendent's recommendation, take it to the full council at the February meeting. Then we could have a vote from the council and move forward with the work from there, executing the contract, obviously before March 1st, which would be a savings to the town, and then starting the work this spring, which would allow them a parking space for their truck. So we would no longer be parking on Foxdale and or any service companies, vendors coming up would park off of Foxdale, and then just cleaning up that hill and also keeping it from continually a road out on Foxdale.
They'd be able to pull in.
They'd have a parking space west
It'd be
of,
parallel to Foxville, but would be on the road. So,
Okay, so do you want us, should we do that now, the motion?
if you want to, yeah.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the bid from, how do you, Jacob?
Jacob Balvatovich.
Yeah, okay.
Balvatovich.
I second the motion, Laurel. Okay, so we need to do a vote. Scott?
yes,
Rick?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Don? Ernie?
aye,
Laurel? Aye. And I say aye, so unanimous. I'll take it, make sure we get it on the agenda for the town council.
Also, to get everybody caught up, Lakeshore Drive project, I talked to our supplier, last week, and we have parts trickling in, you know, they're coming in, all the copper's in, it's like over 2,000 some feet of 1-inch copper. The brass is over. So it's trickling in, the staging and all the utility supplies, so we'll just get one lump delivery, so I'm not having to go through inventory and keep track of all this until we get it, so. No set date when we're gonna get total, of the supplies, but also all monthly water supplies were performed, the meters have been read with no issues. Also, the IFA is requiring the water department to have an asset management plan. I think this is something we can do in-house instead of hiring a consultant to have this completed. We've been to multiple classes on asset management. It can be pretty complex, but, so we're gonna look into that and see if we can come up with it, doing it ourselves instead of hiring it out. So, but that's all I have. If anybody has any questions.
Laurel, I do have a question. With the water tower, I know there were security issues. Will this wall address that?
It might deter somebody from just walking up the hill and going underneath there, but I mean, it's still gonna be access all the way around the other sides. I know we talked before about, instead of putting up a perimeter fence, that we would maybe just put some fencing around the poles, because I think somebody could physically climb up the legs.
Right,
I have not gotten any pricing on that yet.
okay,
I would say, and that's basically an item requirement
yep,
that they, you know, that they recommend we do. I feel right now, this year with the retaining wall, that's what takes precedence over that. I mean, I've got that. And then we're, you know, once we get done with the asset management plan and stuff like that, we'll have all that stuff in there, future projects, stuff like that, so that we can start putting money back, you know, things like that.
okay.
So,
So would it be like the fence at the community centers around the cooling tower?
I haven't really paid attention to that.
Oh, it's more like the black.
they make, I mean, you can put a perimeter fence up, but they make those kind that they actually mount on the legs, and it's just
Yeah,
barbed wire sticking out,
Right.
or legs, and
yeah.
I think that might be a less intrusive way of doing the same thing.
Yeah, even if they put them up, say 5 to 6 feet, you wouldn't be able to climb past that point.
Okay,
So there's a couple options we can do.
all right.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg. Okay, Tom?
Morning. Our Community Crossing Matching Grant 2022-2, which was awarded in December of last year, of 180, approximately somewhere around 186,000. That is a project that we are going to do this spring, summer. Bid timeline is probably in the next month or so. And I think we should probably put the details of that project on the town website. If not this month, maybe next month. To give public as much notice as possible on everything that's going to be done. It's not huge. There's just 4 streets that are going to be moved. And 3 of them are out there, the fingers of the offshore wood. And, a lot of crack sealing on the previous paving project that we did. Community crossing matching grant 2023-2, maybe possibly a project submitted. Usually I think timeline is September, October. But that needs to be totally reviewed before anything is submitted, and check on, make sure that what kind of funds we have available, if we have any at that time. Stop 17 project is still a work in progress, and a little bit more work and information needs to be gathered on that.
Do you want to go, since you're already up there, do you want to talk about the alley repairs and paving?
Alley repairs are not included in the CCMG grant funding. So any alley repairs that we do will have to be funded by the town, straight from the town. So we need to see what kind of funds are available to be able to do some repairs on some of the alleyways that we have, the dead end alleyways and things like that. They're just not included in the CCMG project.
So is that an alley that's behind Lakeshore Drive, kind of on the hillside, those people, like at 22?
Yeah, there's a few, they're all over the place, but yeah, behind 22 is one, off of Floral between Belle Plaine and, Oriole Trail.
Okay,
That one going up there is pretty bad. There's another one off of, Stop 23. So all of those would have to be funded out of the town's pocket instead of, the grant money.
so you'll get those itemized or
Yeah.
by need?
Right, and then we'll have to see what kind of funds we have available, and hopefully maybe we can put this at the same time as doing the small pavement project with the CCMG.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Okay, under water department, there isn't any old business. In the February town council meeting, we will take our recommendation to the council to vote on the vacant lots, and that we just charge the stormwater and the fire charge. And then Dr. Lemay saw our recommendation, and he would like to have the leaf removal added, because if not, Tom and Greg have got to, and Healy, have to try to figure out, oh, does this person that doesn't live here, are they paying for leaf removal? So leaf is $10 a month. And so we will make that recommendation at the February meeting, and then I'll get back to everybody.
Mary Lou, I got a question on that. Can I get the addresses for those lots so we can run by there before the council meeting? We know what we're looking at.
I can, yeah, let me ask Lynn to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, okay. We know pretty much the 9 lots, but then the other vacant lots that don't have tax. Right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I wouldn't mind running by and seeing the lots that are in question, so we know what we're talking about, whether they're adjacent to homes or, it'd just be good to have a better feel for, exactly what we're dealing with and where they are and how many and that kind of thing.
And also Tom had talked to Mark and made that recommendation. So.
I was a little unclear with the way that all this was stated, so I don't know, maybe I'm still misunderstanding or not, but I was just looking at the fact that if it was the 10 lots or if it was every lot that doesn't have a water tap. So if it is every lot that doesn't have a water tap, what kind of revenue are we looking at losing out on as far as?
We're not going to charge them if they have a tap because they're not using water.
Right.
If they want refuse, they can elect to have that. And I think that's what Shoreland Hills does, the lot they own at 31, right? 31 on Lakeshore Drive. But some of those people don't even have access to have the water there, and they have the tap, they inherited it. So we're not We want to make it clean. I think of the guy that called me that's down here on Oriole Trail, and he called it the do nothing fee. And I said, well, okay, let me look into that. So they're not using any of the resources, but they would be still paying for the infrastructure and those type of things.
Well, see, and that's where I was kind of concerned, because I was like, well, if the revenue was taken away for leaf pickup, as far as that goes, if it was taken away, then are we looking at in long run, going back to the residents and saying, well, now we got to increase your charge for leaf pickup that you're paying monthly, because we took, there was this pretty decent increase in leaf pickup this year. So I was kind of worried about, well, if we start taking away from that, are we going to end up going to the residents or going to the town council and saying, hey, we need to increase the leaf pickup fees, that we're kind of.
Well, I'll get the number of lots, and then you guys can look at it.
Yeah. Add number two, the 9 or 10 lots.
That have the tap.
Yeah, we've been charging those lots. But I think Lynn's gonna be in the process of going through and looking at all vacant lots where they've never been paying anything for anything. No leaves, no garbage, no anything.
Okay.
Like this is quite a few. So I don't,
Well, they would
just
only,
everybody knows that we're,
they would only.
these lots, that you guys are talking about adding the leaves to, these are lots that have never been charged for anything.
Yeah, I'm not talking about adding anything. I just want to know, I'm exactly where he's at. I want to know what the revenue impact is. How many of them, where are they? Are they adjacent to a home? I don't understand.
Bucks
It's
a year, if for the leaves, if you guys don't charge them for the leaves.
$120 a year,
Yeah.
times 10.
I mean, if it's only 10, where are they? Which ones?
Yeah.
That's all I want to see. And then before we get to the council, we'll be able to tell them, hey, we're talking about this much money and these are the lots that are adjacent to so-and-so, whatever,
No, I'll get it.
Yeah,
Just,
thank you.
just to add to that, when Tom and I had met and we had this discussion, one of the concerns with the leaf pickup is just the removal of the leaves from our public works facility to the compost site increased well over like $3,000 there. And then like a gentleman we had on Melrose, we were able to work with the homeowner there. They brought a bunch of limbs, leaves, other debris out to the roadway, which was too much for us to handle. We reached out, contacted the homeowner. They paid for the removal of that, but that removal alone was, I think, close to $1,000, wasn't it, Tom? Somewhere like that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. That was an agreement between the contractor and the homeowner.
Yeah.
What the final bill was for that, I haven't.
Right, which was a large vacant lot, and their leaves are coming off of the vacant lots onto the surrounding neighbors and that. So all in all, I agree that we should keep the leaf pickup on there because we are incurring a greater cost to the town each year.
I will make sure everybody gets a list, the committee and you two. So I'll ask Lynn to do that. The next item is the payment billing adjustment. So just so we know, and I don't like to use people's names, but this person realized he missed the payment due date. They were out of town and didn't see the invoice. Asked the late charge to be reversed. And Lynn said, why is that? And he says, because I didn't want to pay it. I said I need to receive permission to do so. So this person, just his background, he has a prompt payment history. Being late is not his pattern. But she adds this little note, which I get a kick out of. When I suggested enrollment in direct pay, he explained that isn't an option for him because the property is a real estate IRA payment and digital payments aren't allowed. So I don't think we would make the exception twice. So that one I'm looking at. Then we had somebody on Shorewood Drive that the house passed on because the resident passed away. And it was via an attorney and estate sale. So that was $2.79. Lynn can approve that. Another person right around the corner here didn't receive his bill. And then the last one, the Postal Service returned his payment to him. It was yellow tagged as our address being wrong, 2400 Oriole Trail. No brainer, she reversed the charge. So I need a motion to approve those.
Laurel, I'll make a motion to approve.
I second it. Scott,
Aye.
Rick? Okay. John,
Yeah.
Don,
Yes.
Ernie,
Yes.
Laurel,
Yes.
and I say yes. Okay, the last thing
I have a question. I have a question if I could just ask. So I know we can do electronic payments of our utility bill. Is there a way that we can advise people that if they don't take advantage of automatic payment, they're charged an additional, I mean, a lot of companies do this, $1.50, $2.50, whatever on their bill if they still want to do a mail-in check or something?
I imagine we'd have to look into that.
I don't know what our participation rate is for electronic versus non. It may improve that.
I know there are many places, if you use a credit card, you pay an additional amount. And I don't blame them. They want, especially small businesses.
Yeah. Just a thought.
We would have to check with the State Board of Accounts if we could put that kind of fee on the water bill too, so.
Do you want me to check?
Sure.
Okay. That'd be Carl Cinder?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's not on here, but Lynn, our water department manager, as we'll call her, is going to retire. And she didn't give 2 years notice or work that like we put in policy. So we have been working on an ad, and I'm just amazed, and I'm trying to see, Becky's probably the youngest one in here, but so the Beecher put it in incorrectly. They went ahead and released it when they shouldn't have, and we haven't got it in the newspaper, but one of our young policemen, through his guidance, put it on Facebook, and I already have 9 responses. And there's a couple in there that I think we're gonna start interviewing this week and see what we can find. And Lynn has promised that she's not abandoning us. She will help us, and she will train the person. And I'm very happy that she actually gave notice in October. So I tried to stall, but it didn't work. So anyway, wish us luck on that. So is there anything from the floor? Anything from the committee? Okay. Then our next meeting is Monday, February 27th at 9 o'clock. And I need a motion to adjourn.
So move, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.